I love you both.
This is a bonus episode, so we can talk through the intro.
We're on a mission to give him a hard time.
I had one question.
We have broke Ken-zee.
One question.
Broken. Officially.
Speaking of broken, this is a Broken Real Media podcast. You are listening to Something's Wrong Here. We decided to do something a little bit special this time, a little bonus episode. We are going to discuss the KC versus Baltimore coming up tomorrow night, which hopefully when this comes out, I will have this out pretty much right before kickoff, edited together, put together, and that is my goal. So if it comes out during the game, sorry. Basically, we just wanted to... We're in Kansas City. We enjoy sports. We enjoy football. We look... In Kansas City, I'm not a Chiefs fan, let's put it that way, but...
Who do you like? Dumbing down of America?
I cannot say...
We the boys.
Hold on. Wait a minute.
We the boys.
Wait a minute. He played the fifth last episode. Can I play the fifth?
Yeah, that was... I noticed that.
Oh, yeah. You don't even have to say it.
He's a Cowboys fan. So I've been outed as a Cowboys fan. I am. I don't like our running back situation. You did. You doxed me.
Conceptually doxed.
I do not like our running back situation. I do not like the signing.
Are we talking Chiefs or Cowboys?
Cowboys.
He's talking to the boys.
Go ahead. Tell us what you don't like. This is going to be a while. I don't know if we have
Quarterback's not Troy Aikman. Running back's not Emmitt Smith.
All right, here's the deal. If you put Dak's numbers up, they are the best in the top 3 in the league every year.
He's up there. Yeah.
How I don't know.
Right.
If you watch his play, I don't know.
Good skill players around him.
They usually do, but at the same time, we got rid of Ezekiel Elliott for a reason.
Yeah.
We didn't bring him back.
Yep. Clip that.
And
hit marker.
Why did we bring him back at the end of his career? I thought they were just bringing him back, saying, "All right, cool, we're going to retire you as a Cowboy. Yeah, enjoy the sideline when we're up by 30. We're going to let you punt one up the middle,
third down back style.
Third down, well, 1st and 1.
Yeah.
After a penalty, we're going to let you run that 1 yard.
But
up by 30.
Is he starter?
No, he's running back number 1.
Holy shit!
He is
good for him, man.
I mean, good for him,
Making
but
that money.
I don't.
Got that bag.
All right,
we're not paying him much.
Quick takeaways from everything I heard on the Cowboys. Best chance you guys have is a DeLorean at 88 miles an hour.
Absolutely. That is...
We brought Emmitt Smith out of retirement. He's looking quick through the hole.
Honestly, I think Emmitt Smith...
Here comes Ocho Cinco.
Ocho Cinco was never a Cowboy.
He played for the Bengals.
But if we're talking about your dreams right now on what you could win with...
I mean, I would take Ocho Cinco
over a lot of
Elliott.
Cowboys, I bet.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So
I'm not a pro football player, but I can talk shit on them.
You can. So with that being said, we are based in Kansas City.
Yeah.
So we're like, fuck it.
Yeah.
We're going to do a little bonus episode. We're going to have fun with it. We're going to talk about kickoff coming tomorrow night. Hopefully tonight when you hear this. Nobody's going to listen to this because they're going to be watching the football game.
Yeah, listen after. Maybe it'll be funny.
Absolutely. So Kansas City, living in the city, we've been pretty damn blessed. I mean, as far as sports? Not leading up to it, but the past few years.
Yeah. Randy, where are you from?
I am from Central Illinois.
Okay. And were you a Bears fan?
No,
not a Bears fan. It was Cowboys then? Was that your team?
Yeah. So
smarter
growing
than a
up,
Bears fan, but
smarter than a Bears fan, but
well,
I grew up in the prime of it all.
I can certainly see how the
My
difference.
dad was a Bears fan.
Okay.
My mom,
the Bears,
born and raised in California.
Okay.
Just down the grade from where she lived was the Cowboys training camp. So by default, that was the closest football experience she had. She went down there for free.
Sure.
Just sit on the hill and watch them. So mom was a big Cowboys fan long before the whole Emmitt Smith.
So there was an influence. There was an influence there.
But I had two choices.
She's a fan Staubach like 70s. I mean,
I don't know, to be honest with you.
I'll only ask because before they won the Super Bowl with the 92, Aikman and Smith, they had some really bad years.
I did.
1-15,
So with that being said, I mean, I had 2 games were on. I mean, you didn't get to watch a whole lot of games back then. It's not like now you got all 32 teams that you can watch the home, away, however you want to watch it.
You like
4 at a time.
Yeah, that's the really cool part. So
I mean, I've been a part of the fantasy leagues and I've been part of this myself.
I don't know how I
where
ended up with 4 this year.
I had a projector on a wall.
Oh, nice.
I had a TV with 4. I had a TV in front of it with another one.
Oh my God.
And a friend brought a TV because I didn't have another one to
That is
accommodate
And
the
what's so funny?
extra fucking V.
I'm literally betting that he sat in that, and the NFL was literally an intoxicant.
Oh yeah.
The more screens it's
More
on,
screens, the more
his brain's just love it, dude.
Professionalism,
Chaos.
intoxicant, but then
Chaos.
because you guys are like, oh yeah, that's what it is. I look at myself, I'm like, professionalism, dipshit, and intoxicants. Whee!
That's good.
So
I'll take that. Some sold.
Now I'm that oxen of y equals x
Yeah.
cubed.
Yep.
Honestly,
X cubed.
if I had some beers and those TVs, I probably would like hold it for hours to go pee, just so
All right,
I didn't miss it.
So what I wanted, I made my little comment for a reason, pointed comment, which is, you're a little younger than I am. That's
Yeah.
fair, no problem with that. But you said us as Kansas City fans have had a pretty good go of it.
The last few years,
Okay, that's cute.
there was a draw. There was a dry
cute.
spout.
That's cute. And it's more than a dry spout. Dry spell, pardon. Don't get me wrong. Chiefs had good years. But I survived as a young Chiefs fan when the games were even on. Because remember, this is the late '80s. Blackouts.
We were different young Chiefs
Blackouts
fans.
were quite different. There just didn't see the game on television.
If it was on ABC, NBC, or you didn't want ESPN, maybe.
And to be
ESPN
fair,
exist?
you really
Probably
didn't. No, you didn't want to watch it because the product on the field wasn't great. The problem is like man, this is just a jaded sports fan. It's like biography. God, I bet my coworker, Chicago Bears fan, would tell the same freaking story. But it's that Marty Schottenheimer came, Carl Peterson came to Kansas City in 1989-90 and drafted Neil Smith, and then next year they drafted Derek Thomas, and they really didn't ever have an offense that matched the stars on the defensive side of the ball. But it was enough to actually make like this blue collar Kansas City town care about the Chiefs, care about playing tough defense. It was just about toughness. Like Marty Schottenheimer's teams were toughness.
I went to school with Neil Smith's daughter.
Yeah, Blue Springs, right?
Oh,
I don't want to dox anybody.
Oh.
Anyway, he lives. Yeah, I know Neil Smith. He's a character. I got Kansas City stories about some of those Chiefs players.
I got a picture of him in a pretty fun shirt.
Interesting. But anyway, so I'm trying to get through is like there was some good years. But instead of going and becoming great, we had this long stretch of just above average, but could never, ever get over the hump. Now, fortunately, in the middle of that, when I was a kid, the one thing that made it okay, the one thing that made me reminded that Kansas City was like an awesome place to live was when the Royals won in '85. I was a little kid. When I was playing baseball. I was 8 years old. Really left a mark. But then you'd go watch them the years after.
I was stuck in my mom's stomach at that time.
Yeah, but still, you see,
I didn't.
September of '85.
it's a
I
cycle.
hadn't even thought of.
It's like a cycle of self-flagellation with Kansas City sports fans. Like we keep going back. I mean, we could say the same thing about Cowboys fans to a degree.
Oh yeah,
But
I would
we live in the
also
past.
argue, though, that
I'm not gonna lie, we live in the
every
past.
team-
Well,
all teams professionally
you always
rotate.
you remember the glory days, man. Whatever those were, because there can be glory days at different times. Because
we have
Cowboys
our
were good in
glory
the
days
70s,
right
they were good in the
now,
early
we're
90s.
taking advantage.
Yeah,
I'm arguing that because in my lifetime, I think there's one more set of glory days down somewhere that we can't think about right now.
maybe I won't even care about.
But
big
right
football
now,
then.
we have our glory days here in the city.
Absolutely. There's no denying it.
goddamn
So to
argument
wrap
there.
that up, like it's a really weird.
It's uniting. It really is. Like there's one thing in this city that like nobody
yeah.
fights about.
Yeah, I agree.
It's the
either-
Chiefs.
We want the Chiefs, and then we don't really fight about. We don't want to pay for the Royals' new stadium because of the Chiefs.
Yeah. I mean,
it's a dichotomy, man. Because
and that's the thing. I think a lot of the taxpayers are just saying, you know what, let the Royals go. We don't care as long as we have our Chiefs.
hold on,
Right? And the next thing is they're trying to tie them together.
You gotta answer this question for me though, because
Okay.
I know I'm not a loner in this
Okay.
phenomenon. So again, we talk about as the Chiefs would get a great team and would just when it counted, when it's really the moment that matters, it just fell, just fell.
Oh, I know that pain.
It's like right up. You're right up at the mountaintop, and then it's like, hold on.
As a Cowboys fan, I know that pain all too well.
The way that it is now. So Pat takes him to the AFC Championship game his first year. Threw for 5,000 yards, 50 touchdowns. the entire next year, I was like, dude, that was all an anomaly.
Yeah.
It was all smoke and mirrors. They're going to figure him out. They're going to figure Reed out. They're going to figure the offense out. And they didn't. And they never did. And then after they won the Super Bowl the next year, dude, this is just a flash in the pan. There's no way he's this good. And I'm still telling you, 7 years later, I still have this, like, I don't want to be cynical, but goddamn it, I bet they're going to figure it out. And he's just going to totally suck.
I want to throw something at you real quick.
I hate it, but it's like
I feel it.
I want to.
That's a
tell
true
you,
fan, though.
Yeah.
I want
It's
to
like
tell you
not
what I
being
said
unrealistic.
Okay.
when my partner showed me the his behind the back bullshit.
Oh, yeah.
I call it the BTB.
Yeah.
Behind the back bullshit.
Behind the back bullshit.
To Travis Kelce.
BTBB.
I would argue that relatable NFL Patrick Mahomes is just a content creator, so to speak.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's his perspective. Yeah. Yeah. There's an angle.
He gets pissed off at a guy who runs his best friend, so to speak, the league best friend, and I mean on and off the field, they clearly are close.
Looks like it.
yeah.
On and off the field, his close buddy fucks up, but it's also a guy so good that you throw behind your fucking back. No biggie. Got it.
So hold on.
And then we're gonna laugh about it and share a beer later. Different beers because different brands, obviously. But we're gonna share a beer later and do this. Talk about
did
it.
you ever listen to his? He did an interview with I think it was Chris Sims was who he did. Who actually is a great interviewer, and he's done a lot of good Chiefs interviews.
I didn't hear it. I think I read it.
He
Probably.
talked about what that was a broken play.
Oh,
Well, yeah,
absolutely.
absolutely.
Travis ran the
It
wrong
was
route.
supposed to be the
Travis ran the wrong route.
one of those little like rub inside screen dump
Oh, yeah.
offs, and he's like, "There's a guy between me and
So-
Travis."
Patrick Mahomes angrily throws the ball behind his back. Travis Kelce somehow catches
Catches
it,
it,
turns it into a
gets
play.
the first down.
And
It's just stupid.
I argue that at the end of this, Patrick Mahomes probably not lying about it. I don't think he's lying about it. I think he did that. I think he's saying the truth. I threw it behind my back because Travis Kelce pissed me off in his preseason. I think he told the truth. And if that is true, kudos. Patrick Mahomes is the world's greatest content creator for the NFL because who the fuck else pulls that off?
Todd Blackledge couldn't do
I
that.
haven't seen a quarterback in their highlight reel ever pull that shit off.
Well,
you had
will.
Tony
Let's-
Gonzalez.
He will in the
Tony
future.
Gonzalez never caught it behind the back from Elvis
You
Gerbach.
wait, you'll see it again. Somebody will do it. Somebody will pull it off sometime. Do it once,
Yeah,
it'll-
but
So
wait
there's-
a minute.
there's-
Wait a
there's-
minute. Was Patrick Mahomes the first? And if he was,
No.
he's the content
I don't
creator.
think so.
That
I don't think so.
The behind the back like that?
No.
Do you have an instance?
I'm pretty sure I've seen it. I just can't. I'll have to look.
Between high school and college football, you can see.
Oh,
some
between
pretty-
high school and college,
I
yeah.
guess
Are
I'm
you
saying
talking about NFL?
On a
NFL.
pro level.
College, I would say.
No, because NFL's
Definitely.
content creation on its own platform.
Sure,
in
we
my
can check.
opinion, in my brain.
Well, I mean, I think what I'm doing is trying to apply the same abstraction and thought as like when he started doing no look passes, because that seems like that was you
That's-
didn't
that's
hear
not
about
new.
people
That's
doing
not new.
those.
That's
I haven't
not
heard about
new.
anybody doing
it's
it
always
forever.
in the pocket looking this way.
But
you
I
throw.
will
That's-
argue
that's
that
not
Patrick
new.
Mahomes might be one of the best.
Agreed.
No,
I
yes.
agree.
I will
agree.
say that he is good.
Now,
he
if
is
Patrick
very
Mahomes
good.
can throw without looking, I'm guessing he can throw without.
Hey,
I'm
the
not saying he's not
normal
looking.
movement.
It's just he's very
Obviously.
good at shading where
I
he.
think it's muscle memory and trusting your body's
And I'm
alignment.
telling you
really,
right
if he's
now-
got his shoulders lined up, right?
Yeah.
you got
still
to
gonna
remember
deliver it on the back.
99% of passing plays, they are throwing, hoping where somebody's going to be. They're not looking. They're not throwing to the player.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's kind of
Yeah.
like shooting a bird out of the air. No offense.
And you see it because you see the miscues. The ball's already gone before they make their cut.
See that, but I would say no. For the most part, that's how
So-
it's supposed to go.
And you see it.
But
You see
Pat,
it.
Neil
but Pat
deGrasse
is
Tyson-
like
He's different. He's different. I'll give him that.
All right.
boy
So
different.
Neil deGrasse Tyson actually covered this.
do you-
This is plagiarism.
How do you segue Neil deGrasse Tyson into this shit?
And it's a fun way that I wanted to relate, though, when you were talking about running down the field, etc. He got called in by Pete Carroll, Seattle
Seattle
Seahawks.
Coach,
Yep.
former coach, I believe.
And it was because Russell
that gum,
Wilson
dude.
and another guy, when Russell Wilson threw the ball, the perception is that it was a forward pass, but the fact is they were actually going so fast it actually was a lateral.
Okay.
So you can understand how you have to lead the pass, just like you were arguing.
Yeah.
Now, if you're going so fast, you could also quickly figure out that if you throw the ball from X, but you're both going to X, now all of a sudden it is still.
Do you mean a different variable than X?
The only thing I'm saying is,
fuck. Thank you.
Did it cross the parallel of forward or backwards? That's all that matters.
It was technically backwards.
Okay.
So the argument stands with perception, I guess, in a sense that you got some arguments to stand in physics too.
Can I toss off another anecdotal thing that I saw in an interview this week? It just gets me all hyped up with the Chiefs, man. Was that I want to say somebody said this before, and it was from Travis Kelce. He said it a long time ago. That's why I said the footage was out there, but they talked about. I just brought the no look passes, but they talked about when he was rookie, didn't start right. He was the scout team quarterback. Scout team offense plays the number one defense. Mm-hmm. And the scout team defense plays a number one offense, right?
Correct.
And the way that they roll a lot of it is that the scout team is going to run a play. The defense or offense, the number one team, they know what's coming.
Most of the time.
They know what's coming. And Kelce said that Pat just shredded the number one offense with no look passes. And this is when last year Justin Houston was on the team, or maybe second. No, it was last year. Went to the Colts after that. But Justin Houston would walk off the field like, what the hell did that guy just do? They had no idea. I mean, it's funny because Kelce, all of them say, we knew something was coming. Whether or not, because there's people that do the second guessing, armchair quarterback bullshit. Should Reed have put in Pat at halftime in the Titans game?
Yeah.
Do you think it would have sparked the offense? And who cares? That's revisionist history to begin with. But it's really interesting to think. Because I saw the Denver game that he started at the very end of the year. We'd already got the number one seed. Going to go in the playoffs. He starts. And to come in as a rookie, lead your team to a 14-point lead over your rival. Your rival, man. The fucking Broncos. And Tyler Bray comes in with his goofy fucking bubble shoulder tattoo bullshit and fucking gives up the lead. That dude's got big enough balls to be like, oh shit, I'm cooled down. I'm on the bench. I'm chewing gum. My helmet's somewhere else. I'll go in. Let's see what happens. And he fucking leads the team right down the field, 60 yards in 40 seconds.
He's good at that.
And it's I have no forethought. I'm so jaded with quarterback play in Kansas City over time and stars playing and wanting to leave that I looked at that drive and I'm like, oh shit, this.
I've seen a quarterback jersey with a for sale for the home for sale sign because that's where we were at with quarterbacks at the time.
The Bears had the chance to take him. Bears could have had him.
Trubisky, man.
Why are we talking about history? You got that DeLorean going 88?
Well, because let's talk about the mistake.
Well, because remember, most people thought the Chiefs were going to take Deshaun Watson.
You say mistake, but that sounds like.
And thank you to the Buffalo Bills.
Difference of opinion, because in Kansas City.
Thank you to the Bills organization for giving us Patrick Mahomes.
A mistake is only determined in hindsight.
Trent McDuffie.
No.
So at the time, the Bears obviously
Trust me. Do you know how many people's...
And Xavier Worthy.
Do you know how many people's dreams, nightmares are haunted by the fact that they didn't take Mahomes?
Yeah. Yeah.
And let the Chiefs get him?
Yeah.
Now, I'm not going to say that he could have changed that whole dynamic. There's a lot going on there. That's a problem.
Well, put him with a first-year coach and see what happens.
Yeah. I'm just going to giggle because, again, they have very highly paid people to make decisions.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that in hindsight you figured out you fucked up.
Well, they did. I don't think there's anybody that denies that they fucked up. They're on their third quarterback.
Deshaun Watson was pretty good.
I'm not saying that, but they're on their third quarterback.
Not knowing this, I ask you this:
Baker Mayfield before that.
What was the decision? What was the grade? There's a bunch of fantasy experts and a bunch of experts, right?
Sure.
There's always experts.
Yeah.
What did the experts think of the Bears' choice back then?
It was an unproven choice.
And what was
he only had
Mahomes'
one?
I'm not talking. It doesn't matter. I'm talking about right now.
Trubisky only had one good season in North Carolina. Okay, but the reading.
My argument
is.
Hold
on. Let me because you asked a question. I want to answer your question. What did they say about Mahomes? What's really funny is that all the things that make Pat a magical quarterback, I mean, like make him a magician in the pocket, are all the things that scouts said were shit.
Oh, yeah.
He has funky footwork. He throws from weird arm slots. He throws across his body.
Which he does.
So
all those are true.
So
but if you're a freak athlete, you can overcome that.
Are all of the scouts insane?
No,
they're just going off metrics.
They're evaluating criteria that they evaluate.
But that's not what I'm saying.
But you find a magical quarterback who goes against all of the scouts, against all of the Einsteins out there.
4 words.
And you make
Trust
a guy
in
sane.
Brett Veach, man.
But you have a guy like
as long as you didn't say Brett Favre.
You have a guy like Tom Brady,
Yeah.
who is the epitome of the basic metrics of a quarterback. He stays in the pocket. He drops back 3 steps. He finds his he doesn't never leaves the pocket.
Can both be true?
They both can be, yes.
So you found a goat of
but that's not what I'm
saying.
saying.
Fuck out of whatever is
I'm
normal,
saying,
and you found a goat of normal.
That's not what I'm saying, though. I'm saying there's dreams and nightmares in Chicago that are haunted by that draft.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
There's no doubt.
But
Chicago sports fans, poor bastards.
Similar to Chicago.
So since this is a fun, I'm going to break the third wall and say, hey, Eddie, how is that working out for you?
Oh, shit.
What are you on, quarterback 4?
That's a deep cut.
So, is that the Cowboys talking shit?
It was to a Bears fan.
That's pretty rich, man.
Hey, we have the hardware before they did.
Hey,
85 was the last time they got.
You talk about nightmares, though. Remember, the Buffalo Bills gave us the privilege to draft Pat Mahomes.
Quick. Yeah,
Pat Mahomes.
Yeah,
Trent McDuffie.
So to go ahead,
and Xavier Worthy.
I got a quick question for you. Real quick. It's not. It is just a fun one. Both of you can answer. It's a trivia style.
Go ahead.
Oh boy.
How many viewers will we have after your mom hears me trash the Dallas Cowboys as hard as I have?
Well, luckily she's not a follower.
X
anymore.
minus 0.
20 years ago, probably.
She's a sponsor. She sponsors us with her support and encouragement.
She is that one view that we get.
Yep. Thanks. Thanks, Randy's mom. We need it.
The odds for Super Bowl as they stand right now. I
Okay.
know injuries, everything else come into play.
Sure.
DeLoreans, yes. But we have pretty much equal odds right now as KC and San Fran.
Okay. Yeah.
So a rematch.
I believe that.
I could see that. Me personally, I also see tomorrow night, tonight.
Yep.
I think whoever wins that game, minus injuries, is who you see in the Super Bowl.
No. I've got what will be considered a super implicitly biased opinion about that, but I also think that I try to approach. I'm not talking about. I think the Ravens are a good team. Okay, they've got good playmakers. Mm-hmm. They're a strong defense. They got Kyle Hamilton in the secondary. They got Roquan Smith, Rome in the middle. Hey, my point is like they're a great team.
Yeah,
but they are
odd wise. I'm going to give you the odds. I think the Chiefs are like 550.
Okay.
San Fran's like 600.
What's Baltimore? 800.
Baltimore's like 11.
11.
They're third.
So they don't
with 11.
Okay.
They're third, up there with the Eagles. I think all four could be personally, I think could be interchanged depending on injuries.
Yeah. Well, that's the absolutely. The problem is, and I think maybe the odds makers would tell you the same thing. Nobody's going to.
It's hard to go against Vegas.
If Mahomes is in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Numbers would tell you the smart bet is to bet on him. I mean, you could just look at his record.
Numbers, but you have
the money to bet.
But you also have
help us, please.
You have you have amazing QBs that can run the ball in the Eagles and the Ravens.
Josh Allen can run the ball too. Buffalo,
Josh Allen can. And I would say I think they're fifth as far as odds go. But
never count out the Bills. Kind of like I never count out the Chiefs. Anymore with Josh Allen, he's kind of like a Mahomes to Buffalo. I mean that as I visited Buffalo. He has a Mahomes vibe in Buffalo.
Their playoff vibes remind me of the old Chiefs.
And I know fantasy means nothing.
I know the Buffalo Bills had the dynasty in the 90s for like shirts that got donated, but as it is.
Fantasy means nothing.
Kids in African countries wearing Cowboys jerseys.
Fantasy means nothing, but the points that they produce is actual on-field stats.
Sure. Yeah.
And I mean, Josh Allen was taken number 1 in most leagues as far as quarterbacks go because of his
Running.
ability to score the touchdown, his ability to pass,
running in the red zone.
I believe last year he also had like the most turnovers.
He does. Well, he gets
a lot of
big
picks.
games. He throws picks.
So luckily they have one of the top 5 defenses.
Mahomes throws picks though too.
Risks.
I mean,
I don't think Mahomes throws that many picks.
you remember the Raiders
Allen.
game on Christmas when he threw that, and then when we fumbled the next and got scored on twice in like 9 seconds.
That I think Mahomes early on got spoiled with receivers, and I think that with some outstanding catchers, and I think that Mahomes over time his receivers have steadily declined, but his maturity and his ability to learn and grow.
He's got a couple
as a quarterback,
good weapons in there and a couple good rookies.
Still allows him to throw to any fucking player on the field.
I wouldn't say the talent. I mean,
as long as you're not Juju Smith-Schuster.
Tyree kills the obviously the delta between early and later career.
I mean, you just throw it up.
He's got a.
But what I will say that it's really impressed me about the way that they've adjusted, kind of building that wide receiver room is. When you lose something like Tyreek Hill, I mean, he was number 1 rated player in the NFL this year, right? He's number 1. He is. He was not on the top 100. He was number 1.
I'm not.
He was number 1. And my point is like that elevates.
As a Cowboys fan, I would say CD's up there with him.
No, I mean this was the NFL's like rated the top 100 players.
Okay.
Mahomes was 4.
Take it as information. Let's go.
So point being is that that guy's obviously going to bump your room up because he's a generational talent. But they've done a really, really good job of finding like solid and steady contributors that move the sticks. And it doesn't always look pretty. Don't get me wrong. That first year with Sammy Watkins and Tyreek just running roughshod over everybody was fucking amazing. But I mean that's never gonna last too long.
But in the NFL, you have to distribute the wealth because there's a cap.
Yeah,
there was a lot of high hope for Sammy Watkins, and when he got to KC, you could actually see it. But his injuries, man.
Here's the thing that I will argue.
Watkins, huh?
All right, here's a controversial opinion. Everyone loves controversy, right?
Well, we got to wrap this up, so I want to get to a few things. I'm sorry, we got to get to this.
We can get controversial for week 2 of the Chiefs.
2024 new rules. How is the hip tackle going to change things? It's a 15-yard penalty now. And for those of you who don't know what a hip tackle is, wrap up, use your weight to pull them down, and basically you're throwing your body on their legs, their heels.
It's not even
to trip them up.
Yeah, it's that you're using your weight to pull them straight down, which can cause all kinds of lower extremity injuries. It really does.
But that's a standard tackle.
That is not a form tackle that I ever learned playing football.
No, it's not. But in pursuit, that's you can't get your head in front.
You're still taught to drive through the ball. And that's not driving through the ball.
You can't drive through the ball when you're chasing from behind.
Sure you can. Doesn't mean you're going to get through it, but you can. Faster. That doesn't mean you can't get. Doesn't mean you're going to get it right, but I mean you're still trying to tackle the same way.
I'm still going to argue that's going to be a tough penalty because it's going to happen in pursuit.
Oh no! Hold on! No. I don't.
Because you can't get your head in front.
They're ubiquitous. I mean, you see them all the time.
Yeah. You can't horse collar anymore, which I agree with. I do agree with that.
Hey,
grabbing in there, pulling back.
Last year we saw some high profile players get their knees blown out and ankles blown out with hip drop tackles. I mean, sometimes it doesn't look like it's gonna. I mean, you see, like I said, I see it a lot. So sometimes it doesn't look like it's gonna hurt, but man, sometimes it's oh shit, that's not good.
So.
Do you hear that one guy's wearing one of those soft helmets this year too?
I did see that.
Yeah,
that was the first player to accept it, and I think
said he wanted it. Yeah.
I think a lot of players are going to follow suit after week 1.
If you're cocking your fucking head a bunch, I wouldn't blame him either, dude. Concussions are that's no bullshit.
I mean, if it doesn't affect your view,
sure.
Then it only affects society's perception.
15-yard penalty, automatically. 15-yard penalty.
Yep.
So with that being said, we are now. That's a pretty big game changer. That's a lot.
It is. Yeah.
And that's not the only rule change this year.
Yep.
We have the new kickoff rule, which I don't think anybody understands it, so I wrote it down. I'm going to do this really slow for you guys, all right?
I believe this.
The kicking team will start with the ball at their own 35-yard line.
Okay.
10 members of the kicking team, they have to line up on the receiving team's 40-yard line. 11 people on the field. You have your kicker at the 35. Everybody else is on the receiving team's 40. Mm-hmm. So you're up to speed with me on that one, right?
Yep.
All right. So this is where it all gets really confusing and
So
everything
everyone's
else.
5 yards apart.
Yep.
No.
Everyone is 35 yards apart.
There you go. So a minimum of
good
9 players of the 11 of the receiving team
Yep.
will line up between their own 30 and 35.
Yep.
Wherever they want within that 5-yard range. Play begins when the ball is caught or lands in the landing zone, which
Okay.
is the 20-yard line to the back of the end zone.
Yep.
So the ball has to either be caught by the 2 players that are allowed to be in that area, which they are allowed to move at any time before, after, during
Okay.
the kick. They're the only ones who are allowed to move. Nobody can move on the field except for the kicker and those 2 in that zone.
They have freedom of speech during that time.
Yeah.
It's free.
It's free. So they can move, do whatever they want. Play begins when the ball lands in the zone, a 30-yard buffer, the
Okay.
20-yard line back to the end of the end zone. If the ball hits in the landing zone, then goes into the end zone, it must be returned or down for a touchback at the 20-yard line.
Okay.
So you can return it, or automatically, if it's in the end zone, grab it.
So their
touchback.
first change is touchback's 20, not 25, which was originally the 20.
Well, there's a lot of changes.
Many moons
It-
ago. Yeah.
If
Okay.
the ball doesn't reach into the 20-yard line, the receiving team gets it on the 40-yard
40,
line.
yeah, and it gets up to 40.
If the ball enters the end zone on the fly, it can be caught and returned, or a touchback at the 30.
Okay.
A lot of fine print.
Right?
There's a lot of.
So if you kick it and they catch it in the end zone,
I
And
followed
down it.
along all of that.
30.
Yeah.
You start at the 30. Ball out of the back of the end zone now results in a touchback at the 30.
Yeah.
Onside kicks will only be allowed in the fourth quarter
Yeah.
and
I
must
knew
be
that.
declared
Yep.
before kicking the ball.
So none of the
Which that kind of is what it was before.
Yeah.
The only difference is you can only do it in the fourth quarter now. You can't do it
Well,
coming out of the half.
that was when people were usually doing it. It was end of the game. You're trying to get another possession out.
Yeah, but a couple of those guys were tricking them up. And
Well, yeah, but the one thing I say is like you're going to miss the guy, the underdog team's going to come out with an onside kick right on the first kickoff.
yeah.
That happens in college a lot. Happened
gotta
at
be
Mizzou.
honest,
That happened at Mizzou this last weekend.
So the NFL says it is promoting safety with less injury. Well, let me go back.
Yeah.
So both teams, offense and defense, the kicking team and the receiving team, besides the kicker and the 2 in the back, cannot move until
Yep.
the ball hits in the zone
Yep.
or is caught. Then they can move like a snapped ball. Mm-hmm. I think you're going to have a lot of penalties on people jumping.
Yeah.
There's always going to be
Yeah.
a lot of crazy and chaos when you have a new rule. And there's going to be refs that don't quite even understand it but thought they did.
Well,
I think you'll
given what I just read, that's a lot to.
well to unpack,
If it goes out of bounds, they get the ball to 40, which I think was.
to unpack that. Like you've literally given us the rundown of what the rule, like the letter
is the
of
rule.
the rule.
That is the rule.
And I got to be honest, I've watched a few games. I listened to the technical, and I don't think I'm any closer to understanding it than I was before.
It's insane. They
But
say
you're also talking about a league that can't decide what a catch is.
It's a good thing they have
That's
a
true.
$10 million facility that reviews shit.
where
or
did
whatever.
where did that start? That catch start? The
Who
big
was it?
debate.
Was that Megatron? Was that
No.
Calvin Johnson, or was it?
No.
No, God darn it! The guys, it's right on the tip of my tongue.
Cowboys.
Was it? Mm-hmm. Oh, God damn it! It's an Oklahoma guy, wasn't it? Was only there a few. Bryant was his last name. Bryant.
Dez.
Des Bryant. That's right. Okay.
That catch where
I'm just
he
glad I got
he
him.
caught it, took 3 steps, held it out,
And
crossed the line.
it was obviously a catch.
Oh,
Like
without a doubt.
it was obviously a catch.
By today's standards of by then it was a catch.
That's a lawyered incompletion, so I'd call that.
Somebody got paid.
lawyered
That's all I got to say.
lawyered incompletion.
Somebody got paid.
Everything is a lawyered incompletion if you look at how contracts are designed.
I'm gonna come up with some stupid thing.
Was that
like
against Green Bay in the playoffs?
I
think?
can't remember. I just
think?
remember
I
that
don't
it was like he catches it, holds down, and then like puts it down on the ground.
No, he got hit.
Yeah,
it
and
fell.
it's like it was like that's,
dove.
come on, dude, that's a catch. And did he catch it out of the end zone and go into the end zone, or catch it in the back of the end zone?
No, was out of the end zone going into the
Yeah,
end
then
zone.
that's okay. So
On the
that's why.
sideline.
That's why now that as long as you got possession,
Possession crossing the line,
you got
you're good.
possession on the field. You cross
second
it,
it
it's
crosses the
touchdown,
plane,
man, you're
you're
done.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm glad they at least tied that bullshit up.
the football move and
Whatever,
all that.
dude.
There's so much review now that anymore I'm just the guy watching on the sideline going,
Hey, can I just tell you I want to tell you one real quick anecdotal story about the Chiefs that I always remember, and it for some reason it sticks in my head. Okay,
Yep.
It was the years 1997 or 98. Okay.
Okay.
Were you born then? You probably were
Yeah,
born
I had
then.
a Nintendo for about 6 months.
That was when I can't remember the life of my. Maybe it was Gannon or Gerback,
Rich
but
Gannon or Elvis Gerbach, yeah.
but
Gerbach.
I remember. So a buddy of mine, Valentine. That may have been, I don't even know if his last name or not. Just a buddy who lived a street over, was in a different fraternity. He's like, hey, I got Chiefs tickets with Arrowhead Club passes tonight. You guys want to go? And it's like 4:00 on a Sunday. And me and a couple, like my roommate, a couple other guys are like, well, I mean, we ain't got anything to do. Might as well go. And it was Seattle Seahawks at Arrowhead. We had great, like, 100 level seats, 50, and we had Arrowhead Club passes. We're on the way. We get to Independence Center, roughly 70 and 291 there, and all we hear on the broadcast is I'm trying to do my best. I'm gonna channel my inner Mitch Holthus. It's pouring down rain at Arrowhead, and it's like this like he's already fired up, man. It's going crazy, and we get to about Noland, getting closer to like Blue Ridge Boulevard, Blue Ridge Cutoff, and it's completely still and calm outside. There's no rain whatsoever. So we're within like a quarter mile. Yeah. And I'm talking all of a sudden an anvil of rain hits the fucking car. This is the best part, because if you've ever been at Arrowhead, parking, if you don't have like really good parking passes, can be a little bit of an, if you
Tricky.
go close to the game, it can be a little shitty, even if you pay. It was raining so fucking hard during that game that we literally pulled up and parked our car on the curb next to the gate. And we left it the whole game and came
Fucking lock it!
It was amazing. But that was the game, if anybody remembers. There's a couple things.
Throw the Red Bull off to the side.
There's a couple things about if any Kansas City Chiefs fans give a shit. Like, this was the game where Andre Rison scores like a 90-yard flea flicker touchdown. And not only that, but there was like a 75-minute rain delay at Arrowhead because the level one, like, it was hip deep in water.
Jeez.
Andre Rison was one of the first Chiefs players that I can remember my dad being like, he was either boiling hot or
That's kind of player Andre Rison was.
I mean, it was
His
either
character,
he
too.
couldn't catch the goddamn ball because he had butter hands, or he was just the god that caught it.
He came the first year and won us a game at Oakland, or I believe it was still maybe the LA Raiders at the
Love
time.
it, Pops. I remember some things.
Yeah.
So we discussed the 2 rule changes.
Yeah.
You think that's going to bring the scores up?
Honestly, it's not going to affect
I
them.
don't think there's going to be a lot of special team scoring.
And here's what
I'm not saying special team scoring.
Kicker. I don't think it's like kick returns. I think it's going to make it safer.
I want to say last year was an all-time record low.
Yeah.
22%.
Okay.
Actually made an attempt to return the ball.
Yeah. Well, if you give them the 25. Because it was the 20 for years and years and years and years. Okay?
Correct.
You gave them. You gave them.
And they were kicking out of the back of the end zone.
And the kickers all have huge legs, and it's like, why?
They're kicking it out of the back of the end zone.
They're going to cry. Yeah. Unless you. I mean, there's set plays.
So we
where they're
still
gonna say,
kicking it
"Let's
out of
do
the back of the end zone, giving them the 30?
No, I don't think butt kicker will be doing that all the time. I thought that's why they got the rugby guy. I thought they got a rugby guy because they directional kick and kind of control the distance a little bit more. I wasn't really sure
I'm
how
saying
that would work out. He got
across
cut.
all teams. Do you think they're going to still give up the 30, or are they going to?
I don't know. I'd be interested. I don't think so. I don't think they want to. I think you're going to see more balls in between the 0 and the 10.
Okay.
I'll throw out there that I guess we can talk about this next year as well.
Yeah.
And the only reason I say it is
Because
we
we're-
have
we're-
zero data.
Well, let's see. It's
Yeah,
been a little bit of a
we'll
shit. It's been a shit show so far.
I will say in my hopes, this does help out some lower extremity injuries.
Sure.
For a
Well, that's what it is.
stint,
It's
and
the-
maybe it also helps out with special teams injuries.
So I'm going to still stick with what I said. I think the winner of tomorrow night's game, tonight as we post this, will end up in the Super Bowl, as given no serious injuries. Speaking of that,
think
the
that's
Chiefs are going in with
crazy.
some injuries. You got Hollywood Brown, who's out.
Yep.
He's got a shoulder injury. You got Clyde's
CEH.
CEH. He is out, PTSD, for a minimum of 4 games.
That's not a big deal. I don't see that as a big deal at all.
I think Pacheco steps in and
Pacheco's the guy anyway.
Yeah, Pacheco's number one.
They also have Carson Steele playing fullback who can take tailback snaps, and you got Samaje Perine who they just signed, played for the Broncos last year, but he's screwed us in the playoffs before when he played for the Bengals. Great third down back, great screen guy, good pass blocker. Clyde gets a lot of shit because he was a first round pick and didn't ever become some 2,000 yard rusher, 1,000 yard catch out of the backfield guy. And he's a little dude. He's a little scat back type out of LSU. Played with a bunch of fucking NFL players when he was in college. I mean, look at that whole team. Is like almost all of them are on NFL rosters now. It's hard for that guy because again, if you think about it, really, an Andy Reid running back, the perfect Andy Reid running back.
Doesn't exist.
It's not a guy who's going to run for 1,800 yards.
No.
It's a guy who's going to run for like 850 and catch for 550 and going to score a shit ton of touchdowns because he's going to get a shit ton of touches in space.
So by no means is this any advice or anything, but I'm putting my money, and I'm actually going to.
Oh shit!
I'm going with Lamar Jackson a touchdown, Pacheco a touchdown, and Kelsey with a touchdown.
That's a good parlay.
I'm parlaying those three as touchdown
Wish
scores.
I could afford a parlay.
That's a pretty good parlay though.
No Raven starters have injuries.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Casey's down 2 starters.
We're down. No, Clyde wasn't going to be a starter.
He probably would have been in the backfield
second or
as a
third
starter.
guy.
I mean, he would have been in the backfield.
Pacheco's the man. Pacheco's
Pacheco is
number
the man.
one tailback.
But I mean, he would have been maybe in the backfield or whatever. So here is Travis Kelce. He ended up getting over $100 million from Wondery, which is owned by Amazon.
Yeah.
They just bought up his podcast.
Yeah.
And he's 35 years old now. His contract is carrying him through 38. If they three-peat, you think he walks away?
No way. It's a competitor. They won't.
I think he's a competitor.
Let's say this.
I have no doubt he's a competitor.
If he suffers some sort of injury this year, that's more than just your miss one game. Limited,
I think he's getting
limited
to that
practice.
age, though, where everything hurts.
You say that, but he doesn't say that. That's what's funny is he doesn't say that. I think he's gone through off seasons where he's been dinged up and he's had to deal with rehab. But I mean,
he's a competitor at heart. There's no doubt. I mean, I'm not going to take that away from him.
Well, one thing I think is going to happen, the march of time, if it kills everybody, is that eventually you just slow down and your quick twitch.
Do you see the Chiefs stepping away from him as a role and maybe saving him for the playoffs towards the end of the season?
No. And not
full speed, full throttle.
If they're 14-0, maybe you give them half the snaps, but that's saying you've probably got a number
already
one seed.
clinched.
That's probably saying you got a number one seed locked up.
You're probably sitting Mahomes some.
Oh yeah, Carson Wentz is going to get
Carson Wentz gets some snaps in.
Agree with everything there, and I would also say that I don't think I think Travis Kelce, he doesn't walk away, and I don't think he walks away until potentially Patrick Mahomes too. I think Patrick Mahomes outlives Kelce.
I see what you mean. I see what you mean.
But I'm saying, I think he rides his contract if Mahomes sticks to.
I mean, his contract ends in 2027?
Yeah,
I believe
something like that.
Mahomes is locked into like 2033.
Yeah, he's got a while.
2034.
Mahomes will outlive it, but I think Kelce will stick around for it, and I think Kelce might even go year to year on a month to month rent
as much as he can. And that's
I don't think he will.
Well, that's always sure he will. Absolutely. Why do you think Pat doesn't hold the Chiefs over a rail?
The Chiefs would sign him as a pure motivational speaker for games.
This is a huge difference between like being a Chiefs fan now and being one 20 years ago when you were watching John Elway shred the shit out of the AFC West.
And being a Cowboys fan.
Yeah, and watching Troy back in the.
You got to understand, he also is. I mean, let's just say his relationship progresses.
Well, Brady. Well, the thing was,
you have somebody making way more money who's traveling the world.
Yeah,
which is taking away from.
But I don't think
she hinders what he is signed up for based off of what she has done with herself.
Absolutely not.
So
I'm saying, looking to the future.
Contract ride.
Do you continue the contract or say, hey, I just made $100 million on my podcast?
I would guarantee you it is based off of circumstantial factors we cannot ascertain with data that will only be foretold.
Yeah, it's his choice.
Future
and it's his choice.
And
in the end.
theirs together.
And to be fair, hold on, man. When him and Jason started doing New Heights, they can't imagine. I mean, I think they probably had the idea that somebody would think it was funny because they're freaking hilarious.
They are
dudes.
hilarious.
Fuck yeah, they are.
But the T-Swizzle bump, you know, the one thing about it, I don't see that as a thing where he says, fuck it, I got the bag, I'm quitting. That just says, that's not written in that guy's, anything about what he projects out through his actions. I mean,
if you get a chance, there is a show out there about his past and everything. Is
it called Catching Kelsey?
Not that one.
Show.
Not that one. I believe it's on YouTube or whatever. But he got kicked out of college.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
I mean, he didn't have an easy route, self-inflicted.
Los Diablos Lechuga.
It's interesting to hear him talk about Andy, how he feels like, you know, Andy
called up his brother and
drafted
said,
his brother.
Can I trust him? Will you keep him in line?
Yep.
But I mean,
he's a wild card first few years too.
I mean, he's a quarterback too.
Yeah,
he's naturally a quarterback.
Yeah, Cincinnati
quarterback. But
remember that one?
Oh yeah,
yeah. Remember that?
That was funny.
The Travis Kelce to the ref. Yeah,
love that guy. Seriously,
I remember thinking, you motherfucker.
Love that guy. And you can sing. You gotta sing.
You're so good, but you're so dumb sometimes. I understand why you're dumb. Just don't do it next time. And I know that I could never talk shit though, because I was the same.
But it's the same. So look at it this way.
Sense. Like I was the
look at it this way.
Hockey goalie back in the day.
A lot of baseball coaches will go out and get ejected on purpose.
Oh yeah,
to fire up their team,
man.
Hockey lets you fight to fire up your team.
He seems to know when to get that little spark.
Hockey lets you fight to fire up your team.
We should have more fighting in sports. Just
hockey lets you fight to fire up your team. And by the way, we also have fighting as a goddamn sport.
Yeah. I think more steroids, more fighting.
We let all of these things happen, and then it's more intensity.
So to wrap this up, what are your predictions for Mahomes on this year? You said you even said at the beginning, like I keep thinking they're gonna figure it out. What are your predictions?
Mine. What are we talking about? The stat line?
Not even. Yeah, but
he's gonna do well. I see he's gonna throw for it just starts to become a math problem in a way, because you have a lot of people.
Problem or perplexity?
Okay, well, yeah, equation. It's an equation, and it's how many variables do you have? So you have at least 4 or 5 receivers that have the ability to catch 400 or 500 yards worth of balls if they were given the opportunity, right? Because there's only going to be 2 or 3 starting receivers every week, and Clyde's going to catch balls out of the backfield, and you got Travis Kelce, you got
400 to 500 yards.
Okay, so can you summarize
total
for
the game?
Yeah, don't walk us through your word problem.
3 to 400 yards a game. He's gonna throw 3 to 400.
I don't think that he's going to be a 5,000 yard passer again. Because I don't think he needs to be.
I think you will.
I think if you got a back that can take some punishment, that can deliver some punishment, that can grind out late games.
And I get that, but you got to look at the dynamics of a running back in the game now. The game has changed over the last 5 years. That running backs are almost non-existent.
Oh no, not if you got a good one. I don't believe that. If you got a dominant offensive, control
I love
the clock
Pacheco.
is fucking crucial.
I love Pacheco, and I hope you do good because I got you on my fantasy team. So do good.
Bullshit, man. He's not. He's doubting you, brother.
But the game's changed.
Let me say,
the game's changed.
4,500 yards, 45 touchdowns, 20 picks.
I'm saying
17 picks, maybe.
I'm saying 23 picks, 5,200 yards.
How many touchdowns?
50.
Okay, that's so. I mean, even with a 17 game season, man, that's three a game is a fucking tall number.
Do I get a selection
here? Yeah, absolutely.
49 touchdowns, 5,069 yards.
Oh Jesus,
21 picks.
Okay. Well, luckily it's all recorded. We can go back and look at this and see who's right at the end.
All right, so hold on. Let's. Do you know what the line is? Do you happen to know what the line is on
the
game tomorrow night?
Oh, tomorrow night the game.
Yeah,
I don't.
I'm
going to say 3. I'm going to say that maybe 4.
I was going to guess it was low single digits. Chiefs are probably favorites. They get the home field bump. 3 points, 4 points, maybe 4 points.
I mean, 3 points is even.
So let's just say
home field gets 3 points on an even game.
I see the score being Chiefs 27, Ravens 24.
No. They're both high-scoring teams. I'm saying it both in the 30s.
Both good defenses.
That's true, too.
Plucking playoff game last year was 17-10. Chiefs win.
All right, I'm going to go...
I feel like I was given too high of a score. 7-3.
I think the Chiefs knock in 3 field goals. So I'm going to go 31-28. 31-28.
Okay. Ravens?
No, Chiefs.
Okay. Whew. God damn it, man.
Chiefs,
Scared the
31-28.
Scared the shit out of me.
But I do think this game decides who's going to end up in the Super Bowl.
37-31 Chiefs.
There you go.
I believe it has no effect on the Super Bowl.
That could be
Okay.
because they played those games before too. The playoff
Chiefs-
game was an anomaly.
The
last
Chiefs
year.
can come out and lose game 1.
Mm-hmm.
And while the fan base is disappointed and will rigmarole,
It's all over.
normal
Fucking
shit,
Chiefs suck again. God damn it. It's like
Yeah.
1988.
I will tell you right now, it will inspire the piss and vinegar it has, just like it did last year.
Yep.
I agree with you there.
The losses always tended to create good long-term results.
So to wrap this up,
cap it up.
a lot of people criticized Mahomes taking that big contract,
Yeah.
criticized the Chiefs for giving it to him.
Yeah.
Nobody denied that they wanted him here.
Sure. Yeah.
But the criticism, I think, came from the people saying, how are you going to build a team around him? How are you going to build a team around him?
now he's like,
So what they were short-sighted on and not looking at was how the league has expanded.
Yeah.
And they made it very clear. We're going to
it's gambling revenue, man.
we're going to expand our cap.
Yep.
So the cap has expanded everything.
Yep.
And the Chiefs even said, a lot of the analysts have said, this is a good deal. It might not look good today,
Yeah.
but it's a 13-year contract, 14-year contract.
Started as a 10.
But with
I believe it got the last time it got extended, it got re-10.
it contained
It's re-10.
his first 4 years
Yeah.
and
Right.
everything got
It's
restructured.
technically extensions, right?
It's been
They're extensions.
It's been restructured and everything, but he's 14 years total.
He's like
He's
a bank,
Casey
man.
for life, almost.
He's
I
the
mean, he's
bank.
Casey for life.
He's a
for
bank,
sure.
dude.
But at the same
In
time,
cap room, just give him
I
a
mean,
signing bonus.
Let's just say that while we're talking about him, the roots, while we're talking about Mahomes going up over here,
You're
marker,
clipping that fucking mic all day, dude.
roots.
You're gonna owe a new one.
Roots have been
Yeah,
going down
absolutely.
everywhere.
Oh, yeah,
else.
It's pretty awesome.
Look around.
they built the women's
Open your
stadium.
eyes, look
They've-
around
no,
at what they're involved in.
he's making
Whataburger.
plenty of money on the side too with it.
State Farm commercials are great.
But at the same time,
I
they
talked
were-
to Jake from State
how about
Farm.
some of those nuggies?
right? But they got a lot of criticism. He is the 11th. He's tied for 11th highest paid quarterback in the league. right now.
Yeah. I think he was first annual average for a year, and then the next
Yeah.
deal.
No, he got the record.
You can
then
only
Deshaun
be
Watson
the highest
completely
paid
destroyed it
quarterback
all.
once.
No, he'll be it again.
No, he won't.
You can only be the highest paid quarterback once.
He'll be it for
unless
15
you
minutes.
Get
I don't think they're going to restructure and pay him more.
I doubt
I
it.
think he's locked in, and he's gonna do the Brady deal.
They're all going to do the same. They're going to do what they did with Brady, which is you treat.
I'm just saying, every year there's a new highest paid everything.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So
You treat
every
it.
time, that's just a media trick to me.
Dude,
Yeah,
his
it's a
paid,
one.
that's
His
a
his contract
I get what
is
you're saying.
his contract is a bank when you need salary cap room.
Yeah. Because they restructured
Convert
it.
it to,
Did they
convert
go-
it to a
did they-
signing bonus, spread it
Yeah.
out over the remaining.
Did
remainder
they
of
do
contract.
the Shohei and pay him $1 million and move it?
It's not-
45 years down the
But
line.
see, what's crazy is that's legal. That's why Bobby Bonilla is still getting fucking paid 25 years later.
Fine print.
It's Bobby Bonilla
Fine
Day, dude. He gets paid $1
print.
million.
The
It's in
first.
May or something. Yeah.
June 1st.
Yeah, it's the first. He gets paid. He got paid this year. He's still
Fine
getting
I
paid.
think he gets paid through 30
I
something.
don't think Bobby Bonilla played when you were alive, dude.
Fine print.
The Mets. I mean, it's not expensive either.
No,
But he took a
big media market
he
too.
took a $10 million contract probably at
Yes,
that time, which
okay.
was huge,
Yeah,
and he stretched it out to a $45 million
yeah.
asset
Love it.
for the rest of his
Smart,
life.
super smart.
How smart is it to do that? Nobody's ever done that before until him.
Yeah.
That I know of.
Well, and then Shohei's really another big example of where we're defer salary till after. It's the salaries deferred till after his contract's up.
10 years.
With the way that the salary cap works in baseball, that's legal. It's permitted.
So
Or you could be a fucking cheater like the Denver Broncos in the late '90s and fucking defer payment to John Elway so you could build your team with more salary cap, and then get fined like a draft pick later.
So football is
Super
way
Bowls.
different than all other sports. Football is a hard salary cap.
Yep.
You cannot exceed it.
Yep.
Doesn't matter what you do. You have to get everybody on your roster. Once you hit that, you have no outs.
Yep.
Baseball,
luxury tax if you
You
go
get the
over a
luxury
certain-
tax, and you really don't get taxed until like year 2 or 3
Yeah.
of being over consecutively and this, that, and the other, which is bullshit because you have the big markets like New York, L.A.,
Yeah, they have fucking shitloads of money.
which they have the TV deals. They have the
Worth billions of dollars, man.
billions of dollars
Your
coming in.
demographics affect that too.
But you have a team like Toronto who nobody's showing up,
Yep.
and you can't pay. You just can't pay those luxury
it's like
taxes.
it's like the Royals. There's a small market disadvantage that. But how do you fix it?
But I
team
disagree
wins.
with that.
I think
Why is the Royals a small market, but St. Louis is one of the bigger?
Cardinals have been around a lot longer.
Yeah.
I mean, nostalgia.
The family that
No
owns
matter
them
how many times we
has
talk
more
about
money.
how many rings we fill with the Cardinals,
11.
Fuck.
11.
Yeah, how many since we allowed everyone that wasn't white to throw the ball?
Yeah. It's not. That, to be honest, that's a
I
fair
know
criticism.
the number. Do you?
For the Cardinals or for? Let's talk about the Yankees.
No. Oh, there's a Cardinals fan. Let's talk about the Yankees.
I
know
honestly
that.
don't know that number. I really don't.
5 cents. I believe it's 5 cents.
All I
Since
know
we
is that the
allowed
Cardinals.
everyone
Jackie
throw the
Robinson
ball.
started playing.
The Cardinals have
since
officially.
everyone could throw the ball.
The Cardinals have officially crossed into dumpster fire territory.
Happens to the best teams, man.
Just recently.
No,
I'll talk
They're
it.
not playing
I'll talk
great.
that
They're
shit.
always usually fairly competitive. You'll know at the end of the
I
season.
respect the I-70 series, but I'll still talk shit because I'm from Kansas City.
I blame Mo Zelick. I hate Mo, and hate's a strong word. I know. but
Whatever, dude. You guys
I
dumped
hate-
fucking Mike Matheny on us anyway, so I'm not gonna.
Yeah, but
Jesus.
San Diego got shit, and it's working out for them.
Yeah. Well, you never know. Change of scenery, you know.
Was this our wrap up, by the way?
It is.
Oh,
we're,
man.
we're wrapped
Bagging
up.
on
but-
fucking Cardinals fans, poor bastards.
Oh,
With
man.
you and all your World Series titles, that must be real shit.
But here's the thing.
Entitlement.
When was the last time they won a title? Was it 2011?
I just remember the Royals beating their ass in '85. That's all I'm gonna say.
2011, I
Some
think.
of us weren't thought of.
The Royals have won.
Joaquin Andujar and 7 my ass.
The Royals have won
Bullshit.
sooner than the Cardinals
Back
have.
in my day.
I walked uphill in snow
How
both
you go
ways to
a
get to the
movie for
game.
a plug nickel. Come on, gentlemen. Jesus.
We are getting fucking old.
Wrap it up.
What's a plug nickel?
I have no idea.
We'll never know.
Is that like a shilling? A wooden shilling?
Is that a pence? 5 pence.
It's a Caesar coin.